what squirrels do is they'll, if you've ever watched them, they like run up, they're like spazzes, you know, they run all over the place. If you have something leaning up a tree like this, a tree, you see them go up, they're gonna run up that thing, you know, like it. So
yeah, those power lines a lot.
You see them run across power lines. They also have a natural tendency to run up a tree. I see this tree is a good one. It'll run up a tree and then run out the first branch. So if I wanted to catch some squirrels here, I would, if this had branches on it, I just strip off all the branches, and then what I would do is put a squirrel pole here, which I would do like from this branch to that tree, so like that, between it. And those things are gonna run up this tree, run across there, you know, do all this stuff. You're actually not baiting squirrels, because if you were to bait it, they get a little more like
nervous.
It's looking around, or like it's smelling. They change their behavior a little bit. You're just putting these in their trails that they're running along. But it's not really trails, it's just like where they like to run, which is, you can do these types. This is just a basic snare pole. Like they're hanging around, you see like squirrels running around here. At some point, one's gonna run up this pole and run up in this tree, you know. So
if you have a nice thin branch that's pretty straight on the tree.
Yeah, you can. The reason that sometimes I'll put a pole from this one to say that tree is because they might run up that one too and come this way, you know, or they might run up this one and go that way. But because it's long and connected, it's also something they're running across. If you just have a branch sticking out like this, it might come up and, you know, you might not be cruising across.
Yeah, it gives them.
That's why they like the power line, you know,
they like to transfer up in safety. They don't like to get down on the ground as much. You know what I mean?
So a squirrel pole is put together by having a
simpler than I thought.
Yeah.
snares are simple. Yeah, they really are.
You have to have a license to snare?
Yeah, in some states it's actually illegal, and in some you need probably like your small game license.
Here it's a small game license.
Yeah. I don't know the rules exactly on snares here, but
I thought it was part of the trapping license, but maybe not.
So a squirrel pole is, so see how I've curled it up and it's come down over the top like this? If you get it right, they can't go around it, you know, so they're gonna run through it. Again, they don't usually want to hop over something, so they'll just be cruising right up the pole. It's pretty close to the wood. If you had it up here, then they would just nudge under it, you know, so you're pretty close to the wood. You're trying to find that sweet spot, not too high, not too low. This is pretty good. It's a pretty good size, yeah. I don't know, whatever. And then the other interesting thing, these are good, but I've had the most success with horizontal snare poles between one tree and another. So like this, it was actually on a loan. It was kind of funny. They came out for a med check early, you know, it was like maybe the first med check. And I'd set up some of these because there were squirrels running around. And like right when they showed up, a squirrel ran across one of these poles. They get caught in here and then they hang. And so he was like still hanging and kicking. And they walked up and they're, oh, look at that. I was like, it was kind of fun. There was this one British survival guy. Oh, shit, that's awesome. It was really funny. But, you know, I'd actually put maybe 2 or 3 of these on here. You know, there's a chance you might run along, hop over this one, run through the next one, you know, so do this. And there's, what, millins?
I think they're mittens.
Mittens. You'll find these, and maybe when we're riding our horses back down, there's a few of them you see, but a lot of times in these, you know, the life, like small game life, is more abundant in these like river valleys down here than like up here on top of the mountain. So like trappers and stuff. Trappers are always setting traps up along a creek, up a river, you know, and so in those areas you'll see these places where for generations squirrels have dug tunnels in here and there and chipped off pine cones, and they're just piles of pine cones, and that's a great place to like remove any extra like stuff for them to climb on, that, and then put in snare poles all around that, and then just run up and down, and you'll snare out a bunch of them from those places.
With the squirrel snares, when they run through that, does it design so it kind of like locks in on them?
Yeah, it's just because when an animal goes through something, they don't know to be like, oh crap, and like step back.
Yeah.
They just run through and they're like, go further, and then it just cinches down.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And they fall off.
Chokes them out. Yeah.
Yeah.
The squirrel poles that they'll run through, and then they'll just choke out.
Gotcha.
Wire that up to the tree.
And so then I've done the same thing, you know, oh, there's a rabbit trail, and I've stuck my thing here. You see, I've got on these knobs that I've made, I've got them facing opposite directions so that either way the rabbit runs, it's going to either like pop it this way, or say it's coming from that direction, it's going to pop it this way. You know, so if I had them both on the same side,
It only work one way.
then if it runs this way, it's actually not going to release the trigger. So, so you opposite side it like that. Then your rabbit runs through and gets caught, and look, it releases it, and then it lifts it up off the ground. So then your rabbit's hanging, and critters can't eat it, and you can come and pull it out. This also works really well, like say if you didn't have wire, but you only had paracord or something, because it definitely can't chew through when it's hanging, you know, so it doesn't have the time to do it.
And you bait it down there, or do you just have it on a
Again,
game
this is
trail?
more of a trail. You don't need to bait it.
Yeah.
But if you're catching predators like a pine marten, stuff like that, then yeah, you bait it.
Okay.
But with predators, with prey, this works great. With predators, you're better off usually baiting because you can like draw them to a place. Prey is a little harder to bait, but you're like going off of their trails.
Herbivores snack all over everything. They're not
Unless you
as
have something
attractive
really
to
special
one.
that they want, it's hard to like really draw them in. And if you have something really special, then you know, like sometimes you're tempted to want to eat your apple rather than put it in your trap. It's not necessarily high odds, you know. So,
Just when the animal goes
so this is all that is. And again, the more weight you have off the back end, the faster action you're gonna get, which is good. Also, it'll lift heavier animals.
The trigger there is super simple.
It's super simple.
It's a
The
regular
hardest
snare
part,
hook
you know,
to a
like some
stick.
what?
The regular snare hook to a stick, and then
With those side poles, you just got
side poles.
little
You
nub.
pound them in.
Little
big
nubs. These are
snare.
obviously branch tree tops that were pointed that way, so the branches are, you know, gripping
Poking
whatever
at it.
you're gripping. But yeah, it's all really simple. And it sometimes it's fiddling because maybe you put it on a nub and it's like not quite catching, and you're like and so either you have to carve this flat or find a different nub. You know, like.
I always thought that was more sophisticated, the trigger mechanism.
And one thing about snares are so simple. They really are, and the simpler the better, because again you're setting out a lot of them. So boom, and then it'll lift it up. You'll be able to go get your rabbit off the ground. Yeah.
so it doesn't.
And so that's
Any
that.
questions?
I don't know if you guys have any more questions on simple snaring like that.
So that, I mean, do they ever like set it off and not step in it, and then it misses them, or?
Well, sometimes you'll just come back and it'll be like this.
Yeah.
What the heck happened, you know, like, but it's
Okay.
that's not uncommon, and that's whatever, just part of the thing.
Yeah.
Or, you know, maybe some
That's probably why
critter
you
that
check
was
your
bigger
traps
than
to
you
reset it.
expected came through and knocked it, you know. And, this is why Russians hate wolverines, because they'll set out traps everywhere, and then a wolverine will come and just knock that one down, smell that one out, knock that one down, smell that one out, and it'll be like months of work. You'll run around in a few days and just set them all off and clear them all out.
If
So.
they're hanging like that, can some kind of predator not climb up the tree and
Some
grab it?
can, and but it's just
Odds game.
odds a game. And like, see if you're actually hanging like this predator can run up here and you might look down, but you might not be able to reach it from the top, you know, because then your rabbit's going to be hanging here. And if you've set it high enough, this is very minimally high, you know, but if like you set it high enough, they can't reach it from the bottom. So it's just a matter of getting it in there. You're just suspending it in the air. They're usually not smart enough to chew through something like this.
You wait to do that until the predator